How you doing, Mr. DJ? Going back to the 60s. 60s YouTube channel. Let's outsourcing Billboard's Hot 100. Let's go to it right now. The date of this billboard, let me bring it up for you real quick. I got it January the 8th, 1966. And at number 5 we got Ebb Tide by the Righteous Brothers. Nobody plays that song anymore. That was one of their biggest hits, Ebb Tide. And Flowers on the Wall by the Statler Brothers at number 4, up from 12. And from 16 to number 3, She's Just My Style, Gary Lewis and the Playboys. Produced by Snuff Garrett, Sounds of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. It's a reworking of a song that he put on an album back in 1964. It was remixed, and that went to number 1, down to number 2 though the week of January 8, 1966, at number 1. God, one of my favorite Beatles records. We Can Work It Out by the Beatles at number 1. It went from number 36 to number 11 to number 2 to number 1. But I want to go down a little bit. Lost 45, Satin Pillows to Dream On. Yes, Bobby Vinton. It's from the album Bobby Vinton Sings Satin Pillows and Careless, I believe was the name of the album. If I got that right, I do believe I have that right. Let me go back real quick and make sure I got that right. Yeah, he sings Satin Pillows and Careless. Bobby Vinton, he came out with all these great pop records. More associated really with the sock hop years than with the post-British invasion of the 60s from 64 on. You got Blue on Blue, Mr. Lonely. He wrote Mr. Lonely back in the late 50s, Bobby Vinton. And let's see, I think I mentioned Blue on Blue, Roses of Red, Blue Velvet, and There I Said It Again, which went to number 1 back in late 63, early 64, right before the British invasion just really kicked into overdrive. But here's the thing about Bobby Vinton. His parents were band leaders, and they encouraged his interest in music. Get this, they gave him a quarter every time he practiced the clarinet. And he saved up some money. He formed his first band when he was 16 years old and played in clubs, and I believe it was in Pittsburgh, up in Pennsylvania, somewhere up in Pennsylvania. And he went to college. All that money he saved up from playing in clubs, he went to college, and musical composition was one of his majors. And he learned how to play, oh my goodness, I made a list of instruments that he learned how to play. Piano, clarinet, saxophone, trumpets, and drums. I mean, this guy was like a jack of all trades. This guy could play some instruments. Probably an underrated musician, Bobby Vinton. Now, this album, Bobby Vinton Sings Satin Pillows and Careless, produced by Bob Morgan and Billy Sherrill, which explains maybe the country feel of this record. Smacks a little bit of country, but you know, a little country never hurt anything. Billy Sherrill was he was a big producer. Countrypolitan. Country with some strings, with some polish added on them to make it more suitable, maybe to cross over in the top 40. Billy Sherrill has worked with George Jones and Tammy Wynette. He Stopped Loving Her Today. He produced that by George Jones. He produced David Houston's, one of his biggest hits, Almost Persuaded, which crossed over into the top 40 around the spring and summer of 1966. And later, in the early 70s, Billy Sherrill, he revamped the career of Charlie Ridge, producing Behind Closed Doors and The Most Beautiful Girl, taking that country music and really beautifying it big time with strains. You got Charlie Rich with his smooth singing. I mean, that was Billy Sherrill. And he produced this album. Satin Pillows. Bobby Vinton sings Satin Pillows and Careless. And we got Satin Pillows on Billboard's Hot 100 January. Did I say January the 8th, 1966? Yes, indeed. And up from number 29 to number 26. Oh my God. Look at this. This shouldn't surprise you. As years go by Rolling Stones on this Hot 100. Debuted at number 79, hauled up to number 48 the next week. It's up to number 14. It just exploded to number 14. The week of January 8th, 1966. All right, enough of that. The British invasion in full gear. But Bobby Vinton hanging in there, though. Bobby Vinton on Billboard's Hot 100, January 8th, 1966.